What's up, guys? It's your girl Kia, and I am back for another video. All right, so today we are talking about what everybody's been talking about, and that is what happened on Basketball LA's most recent episode, where Chantel Christie fought her mom, Jackie Christie, and Jackie Christie has been on the franchise. I want to say since its inception, and is kind of a household name when it comes to Basketball Wives. She is married to retired basketball player, I would say legend, but he's not, Doug Christie. So you saw the title of this video. I'm not just only going to be talking about Chantel. I am going to be talking about the Basketball Wives franchise and that it's officially over. I think it's time. I think it's over. I think this was the literal last straw for people where we have a daughter coming on the screen to fist fight her mom. I mean, that is probably the lowest of the low that we've ever seen on reality TV. And there's been some pretty low moments. And if we're just talking about basketball wise specifically, yeah, this is a really, really low moment. But it's not even just that. If you think about the cast as a whole, and we'll go through it, the show shouldn't be called Basketball Wives anymore. It should just be called Black Women Who Have Nothing Better to Do with Their Time, because that's what we're looking at right now. So let's talk about it as a whole, and we'll talk about Chantel and Jackie at the end. So let's talk about the cast's actual relation to basketball. No one, no one here has an actual direct relationship with basketball. They are not married. They are not girlfriends of basketball players. Some of them are maybe possibly babies' moms of basketball players. Shawnee O'Neal, who everybody knows is the ex-wife of Shaquille O'Neal, and that's how she got the show because she was used to being in this world. But she's now Shawnee Henderson and married to a pastor. So she has no connection to this world either. These are just random women, some successful, some not, some Instagram famous, some who have been on reality TV shows in the past, who are now all together having conflict when in reality they didn't even look like they would be friends in real life. It looks like Shawnee just said, you're pretty in black. You're pretty in black. Oh, Evelyn, you have nothing else going on and people know you. And Jackie, you have nothing else going on and people know who you are. So we'll just do it like that. And that doesn't make for a good show. It really is no intrigue. There's no situation where viewers are really going to be like, I really want to know what happens and I really want to know how this gets resolved. There isn't anything like that anymore on Basketball Wives. Let's look at the cast members and certain situations. Let's look at Jennifer. Jennifer's new man is a known scammer, in and out of jail, a bunch of issues, has scammed people, and and at this point with Jennifer has such awful taste in men. It's not funny anymore. We all just look at her and pity her. She is a stunningly beautiful woman who can't find a decent person. When you look at her exes, we all saw her ex-husband who was on the first season of Basketball Wives, who she was with for 10 years, who threw the drink in her face. He was a basketball player. Then there was one guy after that, and then her boyfriend after that was the guy from Sweetie Pies, the son from Sweetie Pies, who's now doing life in prison for orchestrating the hit on his own nephew. And then after that, now we have Christian. And it might have been some guys sprinkled in between there, but these are basically her big three, and all of them have been awful. Her current husband, it's not going to last. We all know it's not going to last because he is a shady character. And she's so defensive of every man that she's with, and it just makes her look very, very silly. And I think people are just tired of watching her be silly on this stupid show. You're too grown for this. You're too old to be dressed like you're in your 20s and making mistakes like you're in your 20s. You're an adult. Cut it out. Next we have Brittany Renner. I think what Brittany Renner did with playing in our faces as a Muslim woman was reprehensible. And I know people are going to be like, oh my God, you're being so dramatic. I'm being dramatic because you are taking a religion that is sacred to a lot of people and you use it as a costume or as some kind of cosplay to be interesting on this show. And, Jackie Christie actually called her out, and even I was kind of like, well, that's kind of disrespectful. We shouldn't be doing that. Well, fast forward to today, July 23rd, 2025, Brittany Renner is apparently Muslim in spirit, in concept, but not in modesty. She took off her hijab, when she took off her hijab, I was kind of like, okay, cool. She's taking it off. She's not used to it. She didn't want to do it. That's fine. But then when she reverted right back to dressing inappropriately for her age, I was like, okay, so you were never really Muslim. You never respected the Quran and what it said and what it stood for and what modesty means to these women. And in a recent episode, I think it was the episode where they got into the fight before it happened, Brittany's wearing a niqab around her mouth, and that's the mouth covering where you can only see the eyes. It made me wonder, like, why are you doing this? That was another kind of indication to me that this is just some costume that you're putting on. This is nothing to do with you actually being modest and wanting to protect your body for your marriage and your husband and so on and so forth. And Brittany has a lot of trauma, a lot of issues. I think Brittany's one of those girls who really doesn't know who she is and is really trying to find herself, and she keeps finding herself in all the wrong places, whether it's her baby's father, I think it's PJ Anderson, whether it's Kevin Gates, whether it's the show. She's trying to fit in somewhere, and they're just not a Brittany doesn't know who she is, so it's going to be hard for her to fit in anywhere. Then we have Evelyn Lozada, also another veteran. Hold on, let me get it. Then we have Evelyn Lozada, who's also a veteran of the show, who's been on, again, I want to say since the inception in Miami. And I'm pausing because Evelyn keeps wanting us all to look at her as this upstanding woman who did everything the right way and who, is this business owner, this entrepreneur, this person. And that's not, I don't understand why she doesn't, well, I get why she doesn't want to admit to see what we see. But why does I feel like her playing the audience that, well, I haven't been a hoe in the basketball industry, but she has. I haven't dated multiple people. I didn't purposely get pregnant by Carl so I can have a son who's going to be a little walking, talking, adorable, precious cash register. Like she brings no value to the show outside of she's been on it so long, and people kind of love to hate her at this point. But Evelyn has nothing to show outside of this show. Nothing. There was a short period of time when she was off Basketball Wives and she was trying to turn it around where she was with Carl and had her son and her daughter. And I think they went on in Yanlin and she had Living Lozada or something. There was a little TV show she had. And then she got married for maybe 72 hours or maybe 72 days to Terrell. Was it Terrell? It wasn't Terrell Owens. I forgot the basketball player's name. But either way, she was married for a short minute, and then after that, and maybe I'm getting my timeline mixed up, but after that, it was just kind of back to Basketball Wives. Like that's where I belong, that's where I stay, and that's where I'm going to stay forever. She has her daughter Shanice, who's not on the show, and I'm kind of after seeing Chantel and Jackie, I'm happy Shanice is not on the show. I feel like Shanice and her mom have a much different relationship, a lot better, but you never know what these shows turn into. And there's been rumors that Evelyn dated the game, who was now Shanice's baby's father, which is very creepy. There should be no overlap between mothers and daughters when it comes to men, especially sexual activity. It's crazy. But yeah, Evelyn is just an old, I don't want to call her an old hoe, but that's because kind of how it comes off at this point. Like, what are you doing with your life? Evelyn reminds me a lot of Larsa Pippen on Real Housewives of Miami, where they're in their late 40s, early 50s, and they don't really have a lot to show for it. So they're trying to relive their 20s to be popular with the girls who are younger than right now. Trying to do that Instagram model thing, trying to do the whole Fashion Nova sponsorship thing, and it's just not working. So they're just on reality TV. So that's the thing. So let's get into Chantel and her mom and Jackie Christie. I don't know why Chantel came on this show. Point blank period. I don't understand it. Chantel has been on the show previously. She was on the show when Drea was on the show, kind of defending her mom, and I don't want people coming for my mom. I don't want nobody talking about my mom, blah, 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 blah. Then she goes off. Now, and then she wasn't even a full-time cast member. She was just an additional person who was like on the show. Like, I guess they would call like in the Bravo universe a friend of. She was kind of a friend of the show. Now she has come on as a full-time cast member along with her mother. And as soon as this was announced, a lot of people were just like, this would go really, really good, or this would go really, really bad. And it has gone really, really bad. From day one, Chantel has a very big chip on her shoulder about her relationship with her mom that nobody knows where it came from. Because previously when she was on before, it was all about defending her mom. Her mom's the best. She loves her mom. My mom's a little crazy, but I love her. She's my mom. Now was a real vitriol from episode one between Chantel and her mother, and Jackie's looking confused. So the audience was looking confused about this. Why did you come on this show if it's true that you have huge issues with your mother? Why are you coming on this show to resolve things or having her take accountability? This is not a Yana Fix My Life. This is not what Basketball Wives is based on. It is based on black women who have a kind of maybe tiny bit of money, who go out to dinner, go to clubs, drink, and have issues with each other. This is not a place to resolve whatever from what her posts sound like on Instagram, real issues. She was saying how her mother is toxic, how she has dealt with abuse, how she's even dealt with possibly being SA'd and nobody believed her. These are real issues, and this is the Basketball Wives is not the platform for that. But it is Jackie's platform. It has been Jackie's platform for, I want to say, a decade now, if not more than that. So you came on your mother's platform to take her down, embarrass her, because that's what it's coming off. And it's not coming off as you wanted to fix things. Because every time there is a scene with Chantel and her mother, it's always Chantel trying to remind everybody how bad of a person Jackie is. How Jackie is not real and Jackie's just a personality. And Chantel, listen, we know has a TV personality. We know she is a reality star through and through. That she probably has a persona at home and a persona on the show. Nobody is disillusioned about that. The only person who seems disillusioned about that is you. Chantel doesn't seem to get it, and she's always angry. Every time it looked like on the show when her mother tries to have a real conversation with her and be like, Vanna, what's wrong? What's the issue? I will let you talk. And she's like, oh, seriously? That's what you gotta say? That's how you coming at me? It's like, well, girl, she's trying to say something to you and you're just mad. You're just upset and no one knows why. So we fast forward to this incident, and it's the same thing where they try to go behind closed doors, not in front of the other girls, and have this conversation to resolve things. And Jackie's like, I will let you talk. I don't have an issue with you. You don't have an issue with me. That should make it fine. And Chantel is really trying to say, I do have an issue with you. There is a problem. You just don't want to acknowledge it. You don't want to do this. And Jackie's like, well, tell me what it is. You don't know. You're not sure. Blah blah blah. So they start yelling back and forth. Chantel goes to leave. Jackie is now being obnoxiously passive aggressive, which is a horrible look as a mom or as anybody to do that. But Chantel comes back, starts saying more mean and disrespectful things. So Jackie gets up to usher her out of the room. She's not pushing her, shoving her down the hallway. She's just like, okay, let's go. Like putting her hand on her back, like, let's go. For whatever reason, that triggers Chantel to shove Jackie as hard as she can. And Jackie, who could go in the ring with Clarissa Shields or could go in the ring with Layla Ali at this point, pulls that right hand back and knocks the taste out of Chantel's mouth. Like a hard, hard hit. I mean, Chantel is now a meme because somebody slowed it down, as you can see from the thumbnail, and has got her face, like of her looking off to the side after she got hit. And they're yelling and screaming. Chantel goes back in front of the other girls and straight up lies and say that Jackie just swung on her for no reason, which we all know that's not what happened. So, Chantel has gone on, now that the episode is aired, Chantel has turned her comments off on her Instagram page. People are bullying her and sending her death threats, which I think is ridiculous. But I think people's real issue is not that she swung on her mom, but that she went back to the girls and lied about it and like made up this whole thing that she didn't do anything and she was just sitting there and she got hit for no reason. My mom just swung on me. I think that's people's real issue. And Chantel's sister, who also has had wrote and written a book about Jackie and has come out about Jackie, was just like, you kind of came on my mom's platform, you asked for this, you wanted this, and now you got it. And I don't think that Chantel apparently has been put off the show. She's no longer going to be on Basketball Wives. Like I said, she should have never been put on Basketball Wives. It's just not the place for the type of conversation she claims that she wanted, but we'll never know. But it's really sad, and I'm hoping the show really is canceled. I hope the show is over. I hope we don't have to sit through another season of this ridiculousness, especially after that. And I don't think Chantel and her mom will ever come back from this. I don't think Jackie is wrong. I really don't. But I do feel as a parent, you have to show some restraint. I have a daughter. I'm in my mom's in my life. I have gotten to points of being really angry with my mom, and I remember a specific moment where I wanted to hit my mom in my mind, and I ended up hitting like the laundry, not the laundry room, where we keep the towels, the linen closet door. I remember hitting that as hard as I can with my hands 3 times and walking away. And that was back when I was in my early, I think it was 17, 18. I'm not 40 years old. It's not even something that ever has come across my mind since then. But I think as a mother, you should have showed restraint. Maybe she shouldn't have hauled off and punched her like she was somehow off the street. But Jackie probably was just over it. Chantel should not have pushed her like that. It was completely unnecessary and unwarranted for what was going on. So these are my thoughts. Drop them in my comments. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'm really curious to see what other people think about this episode. And if you're one of my followers who doesn't watch it, then maybe you shouldn't. Don't even get into it. Just listen to this little commentary about the Basketball Wives series as a whole, and I will catch you on the next one. Please make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video.